Short scope. Hey, Nolan! Hey, how are you doing, buddy? Oh, it's good to see you. Oh my god, I had these Russians come into my scope, and they kept speaking Russian to me, and I was like, what is the point? You know? If it's obvious that we don't speak the same language, like, why persist, right? Hey, Abby, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. I'm gonna be watching Once Upon a Time soon, so I'm looking forward to that. Have you have you been on Blab today, Nolan? I was just checking out your last scope. I'll go back when you're done here. Oh, yeah, my last scope wasn't that great, man. Um, cool. It's almost 1 a.m. here. Can't sleep. Oh, sorry about that. But I did come up with an idea, and I'll run it by you, Nolan. The idea is to use polls to predict certain things, right? To see if there's a psychic ability among a group of people by, which opinions come up. Do you prefer drying wash clothes in your drying machine or hanging them outside? I'm okay with either or. So, yeah, my polls on Twitter. I did one poll and asked people to predict what the color of my toothbrush was, and I gave them 4 possible colors. And I'm wanting to see if there's a psychic consensus, more or less. If a group of people together can sort of approximate a prediction of sorts. Yeah. Yeah, thank you. So, yellow was an option, yes. Yes, I believe it was yellow, red, blue, and purple. I'll have to do more polls of the same because apparently there's a bias in the toothbrush because most people feel that men are more likely to have a blue toothbrush, and I happen to have a blue toothbrush. So when people keep saying, was it blue? I feel like they're going on psychology, and it's not really a reflection of a psychic thing that's going on. Yours is green, eh? So I'm gonna have to come up with another experiment, another polling experiment where there's no psychological bias, because it seems that people are associating men with the color blue. So it's green, a gender neutral color. Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, it's a gender bias. Yeah, definitely. So the majority of people got it wrong, but the strongest consensus, 45% of people predicted that I have indeed a blue toothbrush. So your last toothbrush was blue. Controversial. Yes. But I just figure if there's psychic ability, maybe it's amplified across the population, right? Or is that more female? I don't know. Biases are a strange strange thing, you know, you don't always think of them. Just be thankful we have a toothbrush. Yes. Yes, we all, it's good to have a toothbrush, yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking of another experiment where I poll people to ask them what's the next major possible news event. And I'm thinking of having like a multiple choice of possibilities, like airplane crash, terrorism attack, celebrity scandal, you know, this type of thing, and seeing, you know, um, if they appropriately pick the right one. Oh, I'm doing it through Pine, um, but I can publish the results onto Twitter if I want to. The Twitter polls haven't been too significant. The most opinions I've been able to get on a Twitter poll is like 10. I would really like to be able to poll like at least 1,000 people, you know. I think that would be reflective of something. Yeah, so do a survey through Facebook. Yeah, that's an idea. Yeah. That would be, people can share with their friends and you can get a bigger reach. Yeah, I could look into that. I could look into that. Polls are sometimes biased from the source of the poll too, so that's another thing to take into account. Do you play musical instruments? I play the ukulele very badly. Uh, I hate the ukulele. There's an app called SurveyMonkey that might be useful. Yeah, I was looking at SurveyMonkey. I might consider it. But money is not something I'm willing to spend on my scientific research. Yes, I did, love. I did. That's why I call this a short scope. Yeah. Tiny Tim loved the ukulele. Cool. So what do you think, Nolan? Do you think a population of people together could have some sort of psychic ability? Do you think there's a possibility of that? Not sure. Not sure, but polls and stats are a science. Yes, they are, indeed. That's the good thing about this experiment, is that it can be quantified. And you know, and quantifiable experiments are the best, right? But you know, I was also thinking too, Should I use polls? Should I use public polls to decide certain things that I should do or shouldn't do when making a decision? Do you think if I did a public poll to do with a specific decision that the consensus would be the right decision? Or do you think that maybe the majority of people wouldn't necessarily come up with the right decision for me? It'd be the ultimate experience of listening to others, that's for sure. Oh, you're gonna have to grab a pack from my... Yeah, it's a hard question, isn't it? Because they don't know my circumstance, right? But 446 balloons blown up and tied in 1 hour. Back in 2012, yeah. And I just finished a small computer job that I might get $100 or $200 for, so I'm happy about that. That will come in handy. I just kept procrastinating on it, putting it off, because I was feeling depressed. So, it's man, it's so good to see friends on a scope. You know? Instead of a bunch of people that are like, I'm just learning English. What do I think about Islam? I don't have any bad opinions about Islam. I think it's a religion like any other religion. I think there are fanaticals, religious fanaticals, that give it a bad name. But the religion itself, I don't have anything bad to say about it. I gotta go back and check your Russians. Yeah, it's not the best scope, Nolan. I didn't really get to talk much about what I really wanted to talk about. I'm sort of developing a theory of God, and I'm working on that theory. Hey, thank you guys for all the hearts. So, just fixing my coffee. There we go. Oh, I spilled my coffee everywhere. That's not good. Okay, guys. I'm developing a bad blab addiction. Yeah, I noticed you don't take as much part in the blabs like I do. You seem to be the type that really likes to sit back and take as much information in as you can, which is something I really enjoy doing too. You know, especially when theologians talk and that. You know, I like to hear about how they gather evidence to support their argument for God and that kind of thing. You know, it's interesting what kind of arguments people form in favor for and against, I guess. And when I talk to the atheist, it strengthens my theories for God, because it gets checked for loopholes, I guess you can say. I would talk more, but big talkers take over. Yeah, that's happened to me in a couple blabs where I didn't get a word in, and it's frustrating when that happens, you know. Some people just take over the conversation, and it's it's like, I know you've got a great idea, but you know, some of us other people have some good ideas too, you know, like, you got to give us the chance to share those ideas, right? you know. Tim Hortons. Yeah, yeah. You know, and it's like, you know, I wish I could get into a blab discussion and discuss every argument I have for God, you know, but I mean, usually I get my time and I get to focus on, you know, what little theories I have, but I mean, that's just the nature of it, you know. Some people want to tell their whole life story on there, and nobody's got time for all that. Um, so, have you shared your theory of pandeism with the atheists yet, Noland? If you have, I would be very interested in what they think of it. Thank you guys for all the hearts. I appreciate that a lot. Oh, with Billy and Chet, yeah, what did they say about it? Were they skeptical of it, or were they just like more? Oh, okay, love. More or less accepting of it. Oh, okay. We can't win them all, Noland. I think these kind of discussions end in a lot of stalemates. But Once Upon a Time is on, and it's just shifting language. I think it's a little bit more than that. I think it's really implying something. Anytime you talk about emergence, you're talking about introducing an entity of itself, I think. You know, so need more practice debating your theory. Yeah, me too. Yeah, I think we all do, because I mean,